Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, J. Nicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo? Hey y'all, it's your girl J. Nicole, and you are tuned in to the Bougie AF channel where I say stay bougie and I'm serving you feminism for the soul. Don't forget to check me out on them people's Instagram at OG_BougieAF. You can also check me out on the people's Twitter at I'm_Bougie_AF. I'm also on them people's TikTok at BougieAF609. So let's get into it. Y'all, there's so many stories that I want to put out, and so I'm just going to just randomly be doing videos. I wish my timeline or the videos will be in the order that makes sense, but it just fucking won't. It just be the shit that niggas are talking about. And I already told y'all, I'm not your breaking news. I'm just breaking, news and talking shit about it. I'm just keeping up with what the fuck is being talked about and throwing my 2 cents in there, okay? Y'all ain't trying to do no exposés. I ain't trying to interview. I don't want to do none of that shit. I want to be as away from the bullshit and just giving it up as much as possible. So yeah, let's get into it. So one of the first stories we're going to talk about, yeah, y'all. So just bear. This is a lot for me because I hate this type of movements within, or how some people manipulate us and within the Black community. But here we go. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into it. So one of the first stories that actually grabbed my attention is, let me see. Let's get into Fat Joe, right? So, and it's gonna all make sense because Fat Joe is gonna tie into talking about YSL and in People's Georgia, who's on trial right now for his YSL, standing for Young Slime Life, record label / gang, right? A Young Thug. But let's start with Fat Joe because this is exactly what people do within our community sometimes. And I'm very flippant. I'm very vocal about noticing like spiritual manipulation, right? Where people use religion or people use the things that they know have sentimental value with other people, things that resonate in terms of sympathy, right? And they will use these things to create the narrative that they want to create, right? And so I've always noticed this, and I don't take kind to it. And like when I tell you I am very cut and dry with them, it's all facts. Like, I don't want to talk about feelings. I don't want to do any of that because I know that you're trying to manipulate me, right? And I have experienced this in real life, and I think that's why I feel like sometimes people may think, oh, I'm cold-hearted, or I'm not understanding, I'm not compassionate or empathy, or any of those things that they try to call emotional intelligence, right? For me, it's sort of like, no, I just think you're being manipulative, right? And when it comes to compassion and empathy and grace and all those things, I want to make sure that if you are someone who is wanting that from individuals, I have also had to, if I feel like I don't want to give you any of those things, grace, compassion, empathy, and all the other stuff, it's because I have been around you and I have seen you handle people, and I don't see you extend that to other people, right? Outside of your selfish wants, in terms of like what would make you happy, I don't see you do any of those grace, compassion, empathy, kindness, consideration for other people. And I think sometimes, like I remember when TK Kirkland was being called out by that other comedians. It was a Satchel, which he was being called out by him. And TK felt like, my name's solid. I'm good. I ain't got nothing to worry about. Niggas fuck with me. I'm good. I'm good in these streets, right? And he was so confident about that, right? But what TK does not tell you is about those he screwed over. And nobody's going to tell you how those they may have fucked over, did something wrong, feel about them. They're going to keep it on those who, they do right by, right? And you know what I mean? So they'll feel as if though, oh, I'm doing right by this person, that person. I'm good peoples, right? It outweighs my bad in their mind. They feel like their good outweighs their bad. And so for them, they feel like they're solid people. And what I remember learning from that TK Kirkland situation was that you solid for who the fuck you want to be solid for. You're good to who the fuck you want to be good to, right? And that's just life, right? And there are going to be those other motherfuckers like a Satchel and like a Eddie Murphy and them who got stories, and other comedians from what I seen that have stories about your fucked up, ways, your sabotaging ass ways, your hating ass ways, right? So all I'm saying is that everybody got some people that's going to say some great things about them because that's who the fuck you want to, you know what I mean, in your life, and that's who you decide you want to do right by. But equally, they may have some people who may feel some sort of way about them, about that fucked up shit they did. And so that's why I tell everybody, don't tell me what your experience is with somebody. Clearly they fuck with you harder than they fuck with me, but you're not going to tell me my experience, or your experience is not going to negate my experience, and it sure as hell is not going to negate or make me feel some sort of way when I speak on my experience, right? Some people I've read, I ain't never seen that side of them. They not like that. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're nothing to be jealous of. Maybe you don't intimidate them in that way. Like, let's keep it 100. Maybe they don't feel nothing behind you. Maybe you don't, you know what I mean, pose any threat to them in any type of way. I don't give a fuck about what you experience with somebody. I know what I'm experiencing and what I have went through. So here you go, Fat Joe, playing on all of these things that I told you about, like, in terms of like religion and, certain buzzwords in terms of, I'm just trying to be positive. I'm just out here and, being humble. You know what I mean? Like, there are things within the black community we know that certain people, that we know if said, it resonates a certain fucking way. I'm just one of those niggas that's like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I can see right through that. Oh, so now we praying. I didn't even know you believed in God when we were rolling. Oh, now you got a conscience and you feel some sort of way about how you treating people. But when I was with you, you was grinding. You was, doing fucked up shit behind everybody's back. But now all of a sudden, you a better person than me? Nah, it just doesn't. It doesn't work like that. An adult, and it is what it is. You're an adult, and you're gonna be treated like an adult. So here goes Fat Joe trying to play on the people's tops, people's intelligence, right? So Fat Joe, if you don't know, we call him we call him Joey Crack, right? Like, that was his nickname. He always said it 105 times in his music throughout the years. He's always alluded to, you know what I mean, a certain lifestyle, how he was in these streets and what he had to do to survive. But he's decided, I'm going to paint a whole narrative in 2023 for this younger generation, right? Because I don't want people to try to call me out or tell me who the fuck is you to, you know what I mean? So here goes Joey Crack trying to, create a narrative. They call me Joey Crack because the crack of my ass show whenever I stand up. Girls in my hood gave me the name. It was never because the drug crack, God is great. Does that even make sense to y'all? Like, and this is what's so infuriating. Does that make sense? Some of these gentlemen, and I just remember right before Thanksgiving, I think, I hope I read D or MON, Mo D or something like that, it was having this back and forth with, I think it was Jim Jones and Jim Jones' cousin, who said that he wanted to smack this motivator speaker because he was speaking about Jim Jones and Jim Jones' past and the gangs, and it's not, you're not good for the community. And I guess somehow Rick Ross also got into that conversation. These gentlemen feel like because they throw some dollars at the hood, that maybe the harmful impact that they've had on the hood, that those dollars outweigh that. I'm here to say, no, it just doesn't. Your money is not reaching that far, that you think millions and millions of young adults whose minds are really out here living their life and being influenced by that music. It doesn't. I'm here to tell you, I don't give a fuck how many turkeys y'all giving away around Thanksgiving. Nobody is exchanging the youth for your dollars and your sympathy, your charity. right? We'd rather you guys be productive human beings and show these children something different, right? At least if that's what you had to do to get where you're at, then you walk away from that. But you don't perpetuate a lifestyle and get rich off of it, right? And so what I mean by that, going into talking about Young Thug and how he's trying to play on our tops, just like Fat Joe, is that Young Thug should have walked away from the streets. You no longer have to do that anymore. You've made it. And that's the problem. Folks are deciding to get rich and become millionaires either by being influencers, pages, YouTube and stuff like that, or rappers and actors and all this stuff, but still in the hood. Still being a parasite. Still feeding off their people in the wrong way. Right? And still being actively involved in gangs and degeneracy, right? In violence in the community, right? So that's what we mean by, no, there's no exchange. You didn't do right. And nobody has to have a level of respect that you think you deserve because you continue to feed off your community. And I'm not just, like I said, I'm just not talking about just the rapping. So you got Fat Joe playing on our top like that. And then, of course, because it's all about a narrative, right? If I let you paint the narrative, then what you say is going to be believed. But if I paint the narrative and tell you what it is, then it gives people another way of looking at it. So Young Thug's lawyer says pushing P stands for pushing positivity. Okay, so if you don't know, Young Thug, who has been a major celebrity rapper for over 10 plus years, he's one of those individuals I just said that did not walk away from the streets. It's alleged that he is the leader of his gang, which is called Young Slime Life, which is I'm going to say a splinter group off of the Bloods, right? Everybody knows who the Bloods, Crips, and stuff like that. So it's a splinter group off of the Bloods. What you'll notice if you pay attention to a lot of hip hop, and y'all will never have to, think I'll care, you know what I mean? The way y'all get at Vlad, or you try to imply Vlad is telling on you and he's trying to tear down the black man and all this other stuff. You can't do that to me. Right? Because I'm a nigga just like you. And I'm literally telling you, and when you are actually standing on community code and how that shows up, it shows up just like this, right? Where you speak plainly, straightforward, and you speak to the issue. Because I'm not building up one gang member here, and I know these children are dying out here because they're looking up to you. No. I'd rather be a part of the teardown. I can't say it no more clear than that. I'd rather be part of the teardown of what is actually destroying the community. So, y'all can stop implying Vlad is doing it. I'll do it. I'll do it with no problem, with a smile. Vlad is barely asking y'all questions. I've seen interviews that aren't even Vlad, and y'all still in these interviews just running your fucking mouth. Vlad just has visibility, but there are smaller YouTube or podcast creators, and y'all are going on there and you're making money and you're telling your life story like statute of limitations have ran out, or there's no way to get you on some shit. So I'll take it with no problem. So Young Thug is alleged to be the leader of the YSL, Young Slime Life, like I said, which is a splinter group off of the Bloods gang. Now, originally, if you follow the tree of how he came into the game, he came in through Birdman, right? And that's extremely important because as I'm paying more attention on who's getting on and how they're getting on and stuff like that, Birdman is an interesting person within the rap game, right? He's still relevant. He stays with young talent, I guess, finding young talent and putting them out there. And he's finding these young talents within the gangs. Blood associates. stuff like that. So there's a network around that. And I don't think I'm saying anything too groundbreaking. I don't know who can't see it. But Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, is on trial currently right now on RICO charges for being ahead of this gang. If you don't know what RICO charges are, it's literally you just running a criminal enterprise, right? Where you're making money off of. And so it's alleged that his YSL gang is also his record label, right? It's one and the same, right? There's no separating it. And so he's on trial right now. They have been investigating him for over 10 plus years. I have did some additional research to find out that, Young Thug has been a part of gangs for a very long time. And so the reason I'm bringing this up, because when you're talking about community code and the effects that it's had on Atlanta, in terms of Cleveland Avenue, in terms of the robbing and finessing and fraud and home invasions and stuff like that, it's alleged that a lot of that is associated with a few gangs, but a lot of it is associated with the YSL gang and their affiliates, right? I'm trying to think of, there was just a point that I was trying to make in terms of the violence, right? So you're talking about community code, right? And why I said I don't care, like who feels some sort of way about it. So it's alleged that since, Jeffrey has been picked up, that that the violence actually and crime rate has went down, right? But I'm sorry, it was the additional research I told you guys I did. So I go back and find out that Jeffrey used to be a part of another gang, right before, I think this is right before they formed YSL, and it was called the 30, I think it's the 30 gang. And so what they were known for was running into stores at least 30 deep and stealing out of them. And this was over like 10 plus years ago that he was a part of this gang as a young man. So when you're talking about, really being familiar with the streets, he's most definitely familiar with the streets. That gang turned into members of YSL. So he's been being looked at for a very long time. So he's currently on trial. There's been things that have been alleged that he was shooting at people's mothers, like YFN Lucci, where he alluded to the fact of the matter is that I shot at his mommy. Now he doesn't mention my name, which are lyrics in his song, and which is going to be played during his trial, right? So this is who we're talking about. So he now wants to play with the public and play with people and say, Young Thug's lawyer says pushing P stands for pushing positivity, because as soon as you say I'm trying to be positive, right, after you do whatever the fuck you want, right, because that's essentially what we're talking about, right? This nigga was out here doing whatever the fuck he want as a multi-millionaire, to be blessed with the opportunity to be successful, to escape the hood, but I guess the hood couldn't escape him. Count one, Overt Act 156. And right now we are currently on Hollywood Unlocked. You can go check them out. It says here, Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did appear in a video released on Williams' Instagram account, flashing a blood gang sign as avert art in furtherance of the conspiracy. Oh, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. All right, so he group, as he's claiming that he is running a legit organization. Sorry, y'all. I thought it was on the screen.
There's nothing wrong with holding up a blood sign, but...
Okay, so this is the first. Young Thug Lawyer says pushing P stands for pushing positivity.
That's not a blood sign. A blood sign is like this. It looks like a B. That is a P. Jeffrey's fingers are down. And what you'll learn is that Jeffrey just released with Sergio Kitchens, performed known as Gunna, a song that is wildly popular. It's around the globe. It's called Pushing P. And it's positivity. It means any circumstance you're in 2022, and Jeffrey releases this. It's on Jeffrey's Instagram account. And the prosecution is targeting, that's Jeffrey taking a selfie in the mirror, and he has his hand up, and the indictment that the prosecution had the grand jury return says he's holding up a blood sign, and that furthers this conspiracy. There's nothing wrong with holding up a blood sign. If you think positively about something, you can make it through. You're pushing positivity. You're pushing P. Jeffrey is showing the P. It's not a B. But that became, from the district attorney's office in Fulton County, from the City of Atlanta Police Department, a reason that furthers this supposed conspiracy. That's the evidence that they're showing you. If you think positively about something, you can make it through. You're pushing.
And so that goes back into the spiritual manipulation. That goes back into the just being manipulative altogether, right? So have you ever, and I have, like, and I'm currently going through this where some people have did some jacked up things, and it's constantly being told you just have to think positively about it, right? You'll feel better if you change the way you think about it. As if though what has been done and the results of that will change because I'm thinking positively about it, right? But it's a part of a way of telling you to look past yourself, think positively about it, and you'll be all right, right? No, the feeling as if though you should not be seeking any type of explanation, apology, you know, you should not try to hold anybody accountable for anything that they've done. Just think positively about it and think about what you've learned from this, right? Look at it as though it was a lesson you had to learn in life, right? And this is the sick shit that goes on within our community a lot of times. And you would listen to some black parents, some older black parents that will think that, you got to experience what I experienced. It makes you a better person, right? There are those who just think that, you shouldn't, that is all a part of life. And things are all a part of life. But when someone thinks it's like their lesson, their job to teach you that, you know what I mean? Or someone feels like you should have to go through it because they did. They don't want you to have a softer or better experience, right? They want you to have that true black experience of hardship. They ain't gonna try to make it soft for you, right? Shit happens, right? A lot of that. Yeah, it's a lot of mental bullshit that you gotta be able to be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm being completely honest. I know as much as, it may come across as harsh or whatever, but you literally have to get to that place. So, I don't give a fuck about what you talking about, okay? All right. Here we go.
Positivity. You're pushing P.
Any more of his foolishness, because that is crazy. And he's crazy. Funny as fuck, though. Anything else? Okay, no, we have anything else. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that here. on some old, yeah, stop playing with our tops. Like, shit means what it means. Oh, and then Megan Kuniff. I like Megan. If you don't know who she is, follow her on the Twitter. She's where I get all my updates. I know it's going to be great journalism. I know people ain't going to feel like, because we all black, I can't tell the truth about this other black person. You know what I mean? We have a lot of that going on. That's why we have a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of power not speaking on certain things, because they're like, we're all black, so I have to let a young thug, sell drugs and allegedly kill people and shoot at people's mamas because of our blackness. And I just love that she's like, okay, I'm not even in your community, and so I'm just going to report on the shit. And it's going to be, facts. I'm going to just let you know what's being said, and you know what I mean? I love it. So I follow her. Her name is Megan Kuniff. Please follow her. She was actually like one of the purest voices speaking during that Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, when those men got together on the YouTube, meaning academics, Joe Budden, and individuals got together, and Whack 100, because he's super whack, got together to try to spin a narrative that went against Meg, and make everyone gaslight. They literally was gaslighting the black community, creating self-doubt around as if though who she was putting her vagina on made a difference, had anything to do with her being shot. You know what I mean? Clouding, people's minds. A lot of what we see right now in terms of the war in the Israeli and Palestine war, clouding people's minds with a lot of misinformation. That's exactly what they were doing during that time. And guess who was calling that shit out? Right? And I love that Megan Kuniff was actually online saying, hey, that's not true. You're lying. And what's her name? What's her name? What is that? What's her name? Y'all know the girl on the YouTube. Millie? She's still out here, you know what I mean, smoking Tory Lanez. That's what she is. She out here smoking Tory Lanez dick. It's just, it's just ridiculous where people just want to fight with facts, and it's just weird. All right, so let's see. So she wrote, truly humble under God. That's what thug means. Young Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele. Like I said, please go follow her. Yeah, he's... the lawyers in there earning his check. Child. The hate you give. And he said what the fuck he says. If you think I'm here to play with you, goddammit, I'm not. Talk your shit still. So what would thugger mean? It also sounds like something Method Man would have came up with on Power. That boy good. That boy good. He's giving a proctor off a Power performance, because where the fuck he dig that one out of? And manipulation. That's how I'm telling you. That's how I be looking at niggas like, listen, y'all making me look harder than what I am, but I refuse to let anybody play my motherfucking top. Mob ties, movement of bosses together in elevated structures. That's what mob ties mean. Okay, I never knew that. Movement of bosses together in elevated structure. So let me guess. Slime means spiritually loving individuals mastering enlightenment. When the lawyering. I know that's right. Oh my God, I love smart people. These lawyers do anything for the money. Would lie in the face of God for that check. He just knew he ate with that one. Clever. And if that's what he says it means, can no one take that from him? His lawyer, the real life Joe Proctor. That boy good. All right, y'all know how we do it here. We keep being bougie SF, black SF, blessed SF. Y'all keep on being black SF out there. Y'all be black, y'all. And we are out. Kiss, 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 kiss. And bye.